This is reposted.
Oh, I thought I was going to lighten things up with a Jerry Seinfeld quote today, but then it was about marriage. So it's not that light. Jerry Seinfeld says, being a good husband is like being a good stand-up comic. You need 10 years before you can even call yourself a beginner. Somebody, I'm not going to name who, is getting married in 2021. So I thought, hey, let's start the conversation about marriage. So here's what I think this quote means. Is that I feel like the first 10 years of a marriage is playing the board game Risk. You're fighting for territory. By the way, never start a land war in Asia. You're fighting for territory, and you're like just trying to grab as much as you can.
Coming from the guy that has the 50-50 rule that no matter what the fight is, so you have a 50-50 division. Are you the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere?
I'm
I feel like you're the southern hemisphere because of Latin America.
And I did not come up with the 50-50 proposition till about 12 years into this stupid thing. That's why I say I was playing Risk, trying thermonuclear war, trying to win it all.
How far in are you? 14,
I am.
15?
I've been married, I think 16 years.
Oh my God. No one is. You said this wasn't really a bit or a joke, but I think this is kind of funny, but people can relate to the being a good husband thing. But the thing I kind of gravitated toward was the being a good stand-up. Like, talking or just doing a new skill. I think being a good stand-up takes 10 years because to get your 10,000 hours, you do it 2 or 3 minutes at a time. And I don't know if I fully buy into this analogy of I think he's doing the bit. I think this is him commenting on how hard stand-up comedy is, and marriage is also hard, but everyone kind of understands it. From someone who's never been married, I don't know if it takes you 10 years.
It totally does. He's totally true. But here's what I think you were getting at. What do you not get better at the longer you do? Like what job, what improviser, what anything do you not get better at if you have 10 years experience? You become better at everything the longer you do it, right?
Yeah. I guess he's saying that marriage you become more proficient at it the longer you do it. In theory, unless you step out.
Well, but so here's my analogy with that, right? It's the NFL. Like we host a sports talk show, and we were talking about the NFL season. They're saying there is no way in God's green earth they're going to get the NFL season in a full pandemic in this country.
Right.
Guess what? They got the full season in, and here's what they did. They just kept going. They're like, hey, we're going to move a game to Tuesday. We're going to move a game to Wednesday. We're going to have half the team not play. It didn't matter. People won, they lost. They just kept playing. The season continued. It's only when you stop the season that you don't get to the point of having experience. Like, I really feel like Jerry's saying, hey, this is basically the NFL season in the coronavirus.
Marriage is like the NFL season in the coronavirus?
It is, truly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Every relationship, or even relationships with friends, which I can speak to more than marriage, but friendships sometimes end, and that's fine. But you're not going to get better at that friendship if it ends.
You know, the single life is so centric, right? It's just like you make a decision based on yourself, and then you dramatically shift to this like it's not about me, it's about we kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then it's truly like the how you work through the me to we. And I think that just the only way to do that is experience. Like you can only learn the we to me, whatever it is, if you kind of work. And it freaking took me like almost 12 years.
I like that you can only learn through experience, because you can read. I mean, we're reading books right now about premarital and moving into the me to we, but like I could give you Tiger Woods' example of the best way to hit a 60-degree wedge, and you can read it and you can fully understand it, but until you actually feel it, you're not going to do it. So,
and just I want to pile on that example because I love it. Is like comedians say all the time, hecklers. Like you're first time comedian, you're running through your routine, and all of a sudden someone ejects right in the middle and tries to throw you off. And I'm assuming as a comedian, you get better at dealing with people heckling you. Like and if Jerry Seinfeld told me how to do it, I wouldn't do it until I went out and actually did it.
Yeah, I mean, or if you're having a discussion with your wife and she starts heckling you, it kind of you can lose. Kind of, it's funny that like Billy Merritt was saying last week or whenever that was about improv and life, and he's like go doing a breakup scene, thinking that's hilarious. That's not really what Jerry Seinfeld's talking about, but like just living life, you're just gonna get better at it. So get off your phone, go live some life. Is that what Jerry's saying?
Would just the analogy that I like to make is that my friend is a city planner, and I think I could probably be a city planner if I maybe worked at it. But the fact that he's been a city planner for 15 years, he just knows all of the codes that if you want to build a gas station, he knows that code to enter into the computer. If you come in looking for a liquor license, he just automatically knows the code, doesn't have to look it up. I just think that comes with experience in anything you do. You just have that experience to be able to do things quicker. And me and my wife can make decisions 10 times quicker now. By the way, we don't have that figured out than we could at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, you can be anything you want to be. It just takes practice,
Wait
right?
a minute. Is this an army commercial? Be all you can be? Did we just do this? So
It's an army of one. I mean, the most in front of our face example is episode 1 of this show versus
yeah,
episode 202. We're in the 200s now. Or I think about my first day of my construction job. I didn't know anything. 10 years later, I feel like I'm proficient in understanding the sequence of events. Same with you.
I think the construction thing is a great example as well because right, you learn the theory of construction, blah, 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 but you also now know that you have to deal with an actual electrician, and how do you deal with his salty ass? How do you deal with a plumber, a roofer? All like learning how to deal with those guys is part of the job of being in construction.
Yeah. Or if you buy an NBA franchise and you have to deal with James Harden, it can be difficult. Well, if you want to join the army of one, please reach out. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for Karen Olson saying thanks for stopping by.